Hello and welcome to Fuller Consciousness. My name is Michelle Fuller. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. Please like, please share, please comment. Still trying to get this channel going. We're going to do something a little different today, and there's probably going to be more of these to come. We are going to be sharing perspectives, opening conversation from a framework of decoding songs. So if you are clairaudient at all, you might receive songs from your source stream in what we may refer to as a retrocausal feedback loop. So codes, keys, clues that you are sending to you. Your source stream is sending to you to assist you, to offer perspectives, to help you identify energies that you're working on, integrating, et cetera, et cetera. So typically what this is going to be like when this happens, it's not like an earworm where like you heard a song earlier today and it keeps cycling in your ear. That's not what this is. This is going to be like you're just going about your day, you're doing whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden it's sort of like from a tunnel, even like it feels like a tunnel, it feels sort of far away. You'll start catching, hooking into a song lyrics. And if you just stop for a minute and you pay attention, you can pull it in and you can start to hear it much more clearly. Um, Sometimes these songs will be songs that like they're not even your typical music genre that you'll listen to. Sometimes they are. Sometimes there'll be songs that you haven't heard in years and years and years. Um, and so sometimes you might not even recognize the song, but if you can just like hook into the lyrics, you can Google the lyrics and you can find the song and you can read the entire song lyric, and it can give you a lot of information that is going to be useful for you. And this is a way that we can be dialoguing with our source stream. So the song that I want to look at today is called The Scientist by Coldplay. You guys are probably familiar with that one. I started getting this one. I was never like a big Coldplay fan. I started getting this one a few years ago, and it's always been a favorite because it's something that it has so much love in it, so much support in it, so many reminders in it that are sort of hidden in plain sight. And so it's one that I will often pass on to clients as well, as inspiration. Coldplay comes out with a lot of songs that have an exalted consciousness within them. We are going to hear meaning in song lyrics just the way we will perceive meaning in television shows and film based on the level of consciousness that we are at. So you may hear a song in your teens or in your 20s, and like, let's say that it's all about unrequited romantic love, okay, to your level of consciousness. Onward you go, you begin to awaken, and now you might hear the same song and you can hear exalted, esoteric messages in the song lyrics. Um, Something like the theme of unrequited romantic love is a really common one because romantic love is a matrix program, and we are indoctrinated with, fragmented with this experience of separation between the masculine and the feminine energies here in this realm. And we see this playing out in movies, books, television shows, music, etc. And it's all functioning as an alchemical backdrop to help remind us that we are cohesive and that our source stream is made up of masculine and feminine principles. We might look at this in alchemy as air and fire, masculine principles, earth and water, feminine principles. And so, of course, in this realm, because everything is polarized and there's this illusion of separation and we're all like split apart, okay, which is going to relate to the song that I'm going to share with you. Um, we're just experiencing the separateness. And then what's happening because of the programming, because of the indoctrination, because of attachment trauma, mother wounds, father wounds, this experience of not feeling seen, not feeling loved, not feeling validated because we had wounded caregivers that didn't know how to give that to themselves, plays out inside of romantic relationships. And so we might perceive that playing out as a backdrop for a redemption fantasy. And my mental holography, your mental holography are going to interact with each other, potentially from a space in which we can better see ourselves and see what wounded energies are playing out so that we can love that and integrate that and alchemize that. We might also call this ascension because when we integrate, we are also integrating our source stream, our wisdom, our discernment, our intuition, which is a part of who we are, a part of our source stream, and a part of who we are in this realm. Our source stream is encouraging us to do this integration work because our soul wants to be here now, fully embodied. And so we are assisting our soul as well, our source stream as well. It's a feedback loop. It's a constant feedback loop. Okay, so this isn't like you're this little human and you have a soul and like, you're inferior and oh, you're higher self or something like that. No, you are feedback looping with your entire source stream, and you are just as an important fractal of your source stream as, that the highest monad. Okay, so everything is functioning and working together for your soul. Okay, so back to what I was saying about like the redemption fantasies and unrequited love and stuff like that. So a lot of times, in the past, you would hear song lyrics and, maybe, I don't know, maybe you were going through a breakup or something like that. And you would listen to those songs and it would, catalyze your emotions and you would sort of fall into that frequency, that consciousness of the human experience of separation. Same with watching television shows, movies. A lot of times it's going to trigger some sort of emotional wound. And whenever we see relationships happening, which is like, the basis of every single television show or movie on some level, there's always relationships, right? Relationship to something, someone. Whenever we see those relationships happening, from one level of consciousness, you're going to be perceiving those relationships as like separate individuals interacting. But from a more exalted level of consciousness, you can perceive the different characters as representing different fragments of one. So like let's say there's like two people and let's say it's like a romantic movie, okay? Those two people, it looks like, oh, this is one individual in that partnership, another individual in that partnership. But from an exalted level of consciousness, you can view them as being representations of your cohesive self, all of your energies integrated within. Okay. And this is where we bring in masculine principles, feminine principles, the divine union within. So there's all of these codes and clues dropped across this realm that because of the programming here, because of the illusion of separation, because of the polarity here, everything is experienced as like separate, 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 separate. But everything that you see around you is a potential for you to use the symbols to go within and do that integration work within yourself. Okay. So, I've had experiences where I'm watching a television show and there's like, eight different characters, and all of a sudden it will click for me like, oh my gosh, it's like all the same person and all these different psyche parts that are interacting. So we could see it from that perspective as well. Now, when it comes to song lyrics, it's so cohesive inside of my experience of it. I have yet to hear a song or a song lyric in probably at least the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years where it has not felt to me like it's always me singing to me. Okay. So with song lyrics, try to take that perspective where it's like your source stream singing to you. Okay. And it is because if there is a song that comes in clairaudiently, or a song that like synchronistically keeps popping up, or like it's coming up on your Spotify a lot and it's not like a song you might normally listen to. And then maybe it's in a television show or whatever, like typically that is going to be a message from your own source stream to you. Okay. So the song that I want to look at today is Coldplay, The Scientist. And we're just going to look at these lyrics from a perspective of your source stream singing to you. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Come up to meet you. Tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you. Tell you I need you. Tell you I set you apart because you experience this realm as pure separation. Here in matter, through religious programming, all the systems that are in place, everything about this realm, the mental holography here, the amnesia, everything about this realm, we experience ourselves as just inside of this physical vessel until we start to awaken, right? And so, it's like your source stream is like, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, like you don't know how lovely you are. I've been trying to find you, right? I've been trying to tell you. I had to find you. I had to tell you, I need you. This goes back to what I was saying before about how you are in a feedback loop with your soul, with your source stream. You are just as important as any other fractal of your source stream. Okay. And you forgot, you fell into amnesia. You experienced it as separation. Tell you, I set you apart. You are a part of the whole you, your cohesive source stream. Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. Oh, let's go back to the start. Running in circles, coming up tails, heads on, a science apart. Okay, this one is really cool. This one's really interesting. So, first of all, tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. Okay, follow me here. This entire lyric is referring to masculine and feminine energies. So you can see your secrets as your subconscious mind, your water and inner alchemy, your creatorship, your feminine energy, your intuition, your subconscious mind. Okay. You can see questions as masculine principles, air energy. Okay. Thought, discernment, thought sentience. Okay. So, oh, let's go back to the start. So, because in the beginning, you were all one. You, earth, air, fire, and water. That's you. That's your source stream. Here in this realm, you're going to experience yourself as a gender. And you were programmed and indoctrinated inside of that. Okay. Um, and so when we go back to the start, we remember that we are all cohesive. We are nature. We are the prima materia. We contain all principles, all elements within us. Okay. This also we could look at as dialoguing with yourself, sort of like a reminder to dialogue with yourself. So tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. So we could link this to Carl Jung's technique of active imagination. We don't even need to get super complicated with this. Just this is a reminder of how useful it is to dialogue with yourself. If you lay down at night and you get all snug in your covers and you're falling asleep, start having conversations with yourself. Ask yourself questions. Listen for answers. And sometimes this is going to be you parenting energies that are wounded or younger. And other times it's going to be you, as you are now, dialoguing with aspects of your source stream that are perceptually in more remembrance of who you are. So this might look like more wisdom than you have. This might look like guidance, etc. This is all part of you. Again, this is ascension. It's you integrating your soul here now, embodying. Okay. So tell me your secrets, ask me your questions, dialogue with yourself, use active imagination to assist you in remembering the truth of yourself, to assist you in hooking into your soul memories, things like that. Who you are, where you come from. Okay, what's beyond this realm, all of that. Running in circles, coming up tails. Again, this relates to masculine and feminine energies. So we could look at, well, let me read this next one as well, because that will make it make sense more. Heads on, a science apart. So we've got tails and heads. So you could think of tails as feminine energy, the lower chakras, earth and water. You could look at heads as masculine energies, the upper chakras, air and fire. Okay. But in this realm, everything is polarized and split apart, heads on, a science apart. You could also see this as the two hemispheres of your brain, left and right, masculine, feminine. Okay. A science apart, because what science does in this realm is it obscures and it completely diminishes exalted truths, higher truths, bigger truths. It's all about what can be seen. Okay. It's all about what can be, quote unquote, proven through the experience of matter. So, pretty much any sort of exalted truth, esoteric gnosis is not taken into account. It's all obscured, it's all glossed over, it's all hidden. And so we have this really dumbed down version of who we are, where we are, what this realm is inside of polarity, where everything is split apart. Masculine energies, feminine energies, all split apart. Of course, you see this inside of every single narrative here as well. We have left, we have right, we have black, we have white, we have liberal, we have conservative, we anything that we can think of, right? Everything is split apart. Everything is teased apart here. Okay, so let's go back to the start. Let's go back to the start. Let's remember that prima materia. Let's remember your source stream is cohesive. Okay. All right. Another way that we could look at this also, because I always see things in many different perspectives, running in circles, coming up tails. Okay, so, we could we could relate this to the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. We can relate this to your cycles, your patterns, cycles born of your indoctrination, your programming in this realm that fragmented your lower mind and created mental holography, which then results in attachment wounds, which then informs how your relationships play out, which you're cycling in and cycling in and cycling in from your own illusions, right? Your own illusions that come from your mental holography. And at some point on the awakening path, you start to see those illusions. You start to see your own mental holography and how your mental holography is interacting with the mental holography of others. And what is the third force that is created from yours and theirs, and et cetera, et cetera. What patterns am I in? How am I cycling? What illusions am I leading from? How am I projecting myself onto others? And sometimes this could even be because you have a really beautiful, pure heart and gorgeous intentions, and you're not going to see the truth of other holography that you're interacting with. Okay. So we could also look at it from that perspective in terms of our cycles. And tell me your secrets, ask me your questions, because your source stream, who is singing to you in the song, it's you singing to you, it's you, um, would love to help you work through this. Okay. All right. So then nobody said it was easy. It's such a shame for us to part. Okay. This is huge. I'm writing a book right now, and a large aspect of the book that I'm writing is speaking to the shame holography here in this realm. Shame holography is what fractures the mind. It's what fragments us. It's really, really dosed out, like heaping portions in religion. Okay, that's a big one. But we can see it like in politics, like virtue signaling, like, and all of our interactions with our caregivers when we're really young because they weren't able to do the inner work, right? And so their projections, your experiences in school, your experiences in your relationships, like it's shame holography. And shame holography, I'm going to be making a pretty lengthy video on shame holography because that exists on a spectrum, just like all energies do. And we're going to be discussing the nuances of how that can manifest in this realm. Okay. Um, so nobody said it was easy. It's such a shame for us to part because inside of the illusion of separation, where you felt like you were all alone, you were not receiving validation from caregivers. Maybe your emotions were shamed, your preferences were bypassed or even gaslit. Your perspectives were criticized, like whatever it was. Okay. It was like this illusion of separation where your mind is it feels so completely divided from everyone around you. And so then that creates this shame holography. And it's not easy. Nobody said it was easy. And we knew that when we came in here. We knew it was a risk. We knew it was a risk. And it's hard. It's hard. Okay. And there are different manifestations of what this ends up looking like. Some people make it through and stay in their hearts, and others don't. And that's a whole other video. Um, so no one ever said it would be this hard. Oh, take me back to the start. So this is also referring to like reminding you, like to go back to the beginning, like you're not separate. Like you are this amazing, gorgeous, cohesive source stream. Okay. And you have everything that you need within. You are not separate and you are not separate from source. Okay. Because you are source. Um, I was just guessing at numbers and figures, pulling the puzzles apart. Questions of science, science in progress. Do not speak as loud as my heart. So this is referring to, so numbers and figures. So we could look at it from the perspective of like this realm and how it's mathematical, it's frequency, et cetera, et cetera. All the different codes and clues, symbols, pulling the puzzles apart, um, all the different symbols in this realm, the codes in this realm, pulling the puzzles apart, trying to decipher like all the nuances here, um, reconciling paradox, right? Like if you've been on this awakening path for a while, if you've been doing the integration work for a while, you know that this is a major part of the path, is nuance, all of that. Um, but, questions of science, science in progress. So this is speaking to just matrix programs, like what we think science is, what we call progress, all the information that is occulted about, who we have been in this realm, what this realm has been, um, ideas of progress themselves, right? Matrix programs that inform what the idea of progress might be, um, the gnosis, the gnosis that has been lost, occulted rather, not lost, occulted. I was just guessing at numbers and figures, symbology, completely occulted, like all the gnosis, right? But none of that stuff speaks as loud as my heart because my heart is the portal. My heart is where I access my memories and gnosis because your heart is the portal to source to you. It's also where your lower chakras, your feminine energies, and your upper chakras, your masculine energies meet. Okay. Um, but tell me you love me. Come back and haunt me. Oh, and I rush to the start, running in circles, chasing our tails, coming back as we are. Okay. So, the way I read this particular lyric is our source stream singing to us, right? Tell me you love me. Come back and haunt me, right? These synchronicities, these things that happen in your realm, these song lyrics that pop into your mind, right? Like all the magic on your awakening path, right? Come back and haunt me. Yeah. It's your spirit. It's your source stream. It's you trying to help you remember who you are. Okay. So running in circles, chasing our tails, right? Coming back as we are. This also could refer to, on a larger scale, incarnation, right? Incarnations again and again and again. Also, all the experiences that your soul has had that within the amnesia here, you are remembering. At one time, you totally forgot, probably. Maybe not, but likely. Okay. Coming back as we are. Okay. So we can also see this, the we are, sort of like I am, we are. We could see this as a reference to unity consciousness because but tell me you love me, come back and haunt me. When we do the inner work to remember unconditional love for ourselves and remember that we are unconditional love, we we rush back to the start. We're back to the start. We remember the truth of ourselves, where we come from. Okay. And therefore, that opens a doorway to coming back as we are, unity consciousness. Because as long as there is codependency, as long as there is a lack of self-love and knowing that you are unconditional love, it's super tough to move into unity consciousness because we like each have to do that for ourselves, right? Before we can get there. All right, so nobody said it was easy. Oh, it's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it would be so hard. I'm going back to the start. So, and we could see this earlier as well. This is all your source stream validating you as well. Okay. Recognizing that it's challenging to be here, inside of the programming, the mental holography, the illusions, the amnesia, all of it. It's challenging to be here. So, hopefully this video was inspiring to you, nurturing to you. Let me stop sharing here. Nurturing to you. And I hope that it sort of, assists you in potentially giving yourself a little more love today. Be gentle with yourselves. You're doing such an amazing job. These energies right now are woo. I mean, everything is all the shadows are coming up. And so this is playing out in a lot of different ways. And a lot of you right now, after all this beautiful work that you've done for so long, you are really coming into a place where you're exercising the power that that you have embodied through being forged in the fire so many times again and again and again. So I'm sending you all a lot of love and thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.